sitting on a solid background, or a fairly solid background. Okay, the first thing we need to do, I'll get rid of the actions, is we come up to here to window, and we need to come down to masks. Once we've got this mask, well, this layout is only in CS4. In previous versions, you'll have a very similar mask tab. We're going to create a new mask by just simply clicking that layer. Then we want to go to color range, which is just here. It's actually already done a pretty good job for us, but I'm going to go ahead and redo it. So I'm just going to simply, as you can see, first of all, I used this one without the plus, the normal one, and click somewhere in the blue zone, and you can see it's clicked the blue, and jump into my plus, and basically just go crazy clicking until I've got all the blue I want selected. A really important thing for this is that I make sure I get in pretty close to the hair. I don't want any of the yucky blue hanging around the hair like we just had before. Okay, once we're happy, we can simply hit OK. A big problem here is we obviously don't want the blue background, we want the girl. Well, it's not a big problem. Simply hit invert, and there we go, rock and roll. Now, the next pretty cool tool here, the little tool tips giving it away with refine masks, but we can go to this mask edge. Basically what this gives us is gives us a few options. We can view it on red. You can see this little bit of stuff we've missed in there. You can also see it on black. You can see the stuff we've missed in there isn't really a problem, but you can see the problem we have got. We've still got a little bit of blue fringing. We can obviously see it on white, and we can once again see our mask. I want to go back and view it on black because then that's where we could see the most difference. I can, with this expand contract, well, it does what it says. I can obviously take it this way, and it's going to contract into my design, and as you can see, it's really got rid of a bit of that problem with the hair. So I'm pretty happy. It's 65 is probably a little bit overkill, so I'm just going to go minus 40. Obviously every file is a little bit different, but yeah. We can have a little bit more of a play with this. I'll touch more on this refine mask later. There's stuff like feather that obviously gives you more of a blur around the edge. Smooth, as you can see with the diagram below here, if you've got something that's got a lot of jagged edges, it smooths them out for you. Contrast is once again, it's something that if you've got a lot of like a cloud or it's got a lot of grey areas, you can sharpen those up. And radius just allows us to, I'm not sure if it's all up on auto trace, but it works very similar. It's 2 pixels. 2 pixels is the minimum area, which gives us a little bit of smoothness. So I'm pretty happy with that, so I'm just going to hit OK. Just before we move on, I'm going to show you something that if you are getting this little bit of blue through here and you're sort of not that happy with it, we can simply go to adjustments and go to hue saturation. When we're in there, you can see this little doobie wacky tool. I'm not sure what the name is it, but let's just call it doobie wacky. You can click on this, and what we can do once it brings up this little ink dropper tool, we can click into a blue section, and magically we can drag it right. And as you see, as I dragged it right, it took the saturation out. If I drag it, if I drag it left, if I drag it right, it gives more saturations to the blue. Drag it left, takes this saturation out. There is a few more cool things you can do with that tool, but I just basically wanted to take the desaturation out of the blue. I don't have to worry too much that there is grey in here. I could obviously bring more of this hair colour in, this quite nice brown colour in through the hair. But because it's going to be desaturated anyway, I don't have to worry too much. So looking at that, I'm pretty happy. And the more I zoom out, the better it looks, obviously. Okay, once I'm happy with that, I'm just going to fit it to screen. So I could now go ahead and save this file. Basically what it's done is, like I said before, it's a non-destructive layer mask. So if you ever wanted to go back and get some of this info through here, like just say for example, if we delete this layer mask, brings up this background. Obviously it's grey. The reason why it's grey is because we've got this hue and saturation on. And that's really a good example of what we did with that hue and saturation, by clicking a targeted area and basically taking the saturation out of it.